Okay, this is going to be a follow-up on the New Zealand gun control laws. Now, I am going to put a video down below. It's from I don't know a lot about their law enforcement structure down there. So if anyone listens and you know more than I do, please enlighten me. But the guy is the head of the federal police, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I guess he's what you could call the equivalent of the U.S. Marshal in America. And he does a video where he shows you a semi-automatic shotgun, tube-fed, and a Ruger 1022, Joe Blow Ruger 1022, and says these are not impacted. And then he shows you, he calls it a woodsman. I looked it up, it's a Woodmaster, Remington Woodmaster. I'll go in a little more detail about it in a minute. Then he shows a Ruger Mini 30, which is 7.62 by 39, but the more common, which I have the 14, is 5.56, 223. And then he shows a CZ, he says a CZ semi-auto. It looks like an AK. Then he shows a Norinco AR type. And then he shows a Sega shotgun. And he says these are now impacted. And then he says these center fire. But he goes, center fire. It's hilarious. These center fire bolt actions are not impacted. And you go on the website, there's a link to the website, and he says you click on this and you go there and you fill out the form to make contact with the police to discuss the arrangements for the transfer, which means you make an appointment to go to the police station and give the rifle back, or they send an officer to your house to pick it up for you. And they did talk about, not in this video, but other videos and other fucking websites, I think the official police website says it, about the buyback program. Now, what is a buyback? See, buyback, if I sell you a product and the product is defective, and I had that incident with the rescue tools that wouldn't cut properly, and I did a buyback. If I sell you a product and the product is defective, I buy it back from you. I give you a refund, take the product back. Primarily because it's fucked up for some reason. Okay? And there's been buybacks on cars, buybacks on liquor, buybacks on meat. If the product is bad, the producer or the seller will institute a buyback immediately to avoid lawsuits, accidents, illnesses, whatever. I sold it to you, I buy it back from you. That's a buyback program. Now, when they call the gun buyback, they say that we will buy your guns back, buy them back, which infers that, according to their perception, the guns belong to the government first. Okay? And one thing about the buyback, when the police buy your gun back from you, what are they giving you? They're giving you taxpayer money. Okay? You sell the guns back to the police, and the police give you a reimbursement of some kind. It could be $1,000 for a $200 gun, or it could be $200 for a $1,000 gun. But the point is, the police are giving you back your tax dollars. Now in America, our tax refund is what we call our gun money. And see, this disturbed me, because in America, you saw the bump stock ban, and I support our president, but even though I support our president, if he makes a mistake, I'm going to call him out on it. Okay, and I think the bump stock ban was a mistake. But we have a lot of things here where you have the banned magazines or banned features or some shit like that. And, you know, my FFL's partner, who's a retired cop, he took his AR-15 and he moved it down to his summer house in Virginia. Other people took the AR-15 and they took the pistol grip off and they put that Thorsten stock on, that non-pistol handle thing on it. Okay. Other people registered it. Okay. But they didn't give it back. Some people did, but they weren't required to. And magazines, they say, if the magazines are banned, you're supposed to get rid of them, or you're bullshit. But the thing is, in America, a lot of times they say, we don't like this anymore, it's banned, give it back. We get lawyers and we go to court, and it costs millions of dollars, and it's in litigation for a decade. Okay? But it's in litigation, and win, lose, or draw, or stalemate, or still cases still pending. That's how we do it in America. In New Zealand, they have no version of the Second Amendment. Therefore, they have no recourse. Okay? They can't ask their lawyers to go to court for them and say that this is violating their rights, because they don't have that right. Owning a gun is a privilege. And that privilege can be taken away anytime they want. This is the A category license. B category is handguns. And C category is the machine guns. But like I said, what about Kiwi Ted Fernie? And I don't know if the C class is affected yet or not. I don't know. But in New Zealand, the C class license means you can buy a machine gun. But A, you can't have ammunition for it. B, you need licenses, insurance, safe storage, alarm, okay, reason, explanation, okay. And Kiwi Ted Fernie said to me one time, they can come in and take the guns anytime they feel like it. And I don't give a fuck if it's guns or butter knives or Barbie dolls. Okay, I don't want the government to have the power to take my property from me unless I have been convicted of a crime. And I'm perfectly in the agreement that if you are convicted of a crime, you can and should have your rights taken with you. Okay? If you throw your mother down a flight of stairs, you don't need a gun. And it should be taken with you. Okay? If you drive drunk, you should have your guns taken away, because if you're stupid enough to break the law while you're with alcohol in cars, you're stupid enough to break the law with guns. Okay? But like I said, this is America. We have court. Okay? So if some guy does not need his guns because he's dangerous, bring him to court, charge him, convict him, and after he's convicted, then take his guns away. That is how we do things here. Okay, period. And it makes me uneasy to see that the government can just say, well, we've banned this, and that. Check your license, check your safe. If you have anything that falls in these categories, give them back. And all guns are registered there, basically. And there is no constitution to hide behind, or gun rights to hide behind at least. Therefore, they will take them. And I know guys are saying, well, the Kiwis are not giving up their guns. Some Kiwis are not complying. They're saying, fuck you. Well, their guns are registered. They have no protected right to own the gun. And they will give them back, one way or another. And it happened in England. It happened in certain parts of America, including New York City. It happened in Australia. It happened in Venezuela. It happened in a lot of countries where the government decides that you don't need this gun, or in some cases, you don't need any gun. And I personally am uneasy looking at the situations in the world and thinking, well, you know what? I gotta get my guns up. Because, truth be told, the more violence I see, the more I want a gun. Okay? We had that Holocaust survivor a few years back giving that speech about communism, socialism, fascism, living behind Nazi rule. Okay? What they did to the mentally ill, what they did to the disabled, what they did to the Jews. Okay, she said, never give up your guns. You need to buy more guns. Okay, well, when I see people that are fucking waging some kind of religious war, whether it's a Muslim terrorist killing Christians, or whether it's a Christian terrorist killing Muslims, when I see this shit going on, I want more guns and I want more ammunition because I don't know what's gonna happen. And I understand that it is entirely possible that I or someone I love could be in that situation. And giving up your guns to stop someone from killing you is the same as taking off your seatbelt to stop someone else from drunk driving, or unlocking your door to prevent someone else from breaking in, or cutting your dick off to prevent someone else from raping someone. Okay, that is the mentality of it. And the Remington Woodsmaster was the most upsetting for me. Why? The Remington Woodsmaster was produced, they call it the Woodsman by accident, that's what they call it, but they call it the Woodsman. Remington and YouTube listed as Woodmaster. I don't even think I heard of it until today, or yesterday, whatever the fuck it was, last week. The Woodmaster is a gun that was produced between 1960 and 1980, which means if you have one, it's most likely because it was your father's, your uncle's, or your grandfather's. They have 4 rounds in the magazine, period. No 4 rounds, period. They're chambered in the higher caliber, so it's low capacity, high caliber. 30-06, 7mm, 6, okay, the hunting calibers, and they use primarily as large game rifles. And they're like, well, we only want the assault rifles. We don't want your hunting rifles. Oh, really? You're not coming for hunting rifles? And you can still, with a 5-round clip though, at least until now, I don't know about what's going to happen tomorrow, but New Zealand, you can own an SKS, has to be modified 5-round clip. Well, if I have a 5-round clip, okay, what difference does it make if I'm loading it this way, loading it this way? What difference does it make? Okay, so the SKS is not effective yet. Now, criminals tend to evolve, revolve, devolve, okay, adapt to situations. So, you've banned this gun. That's great. Well, what about this gun? What about that gun? And there was an idiot a couple years ago, I think it was on Twitter at the time, and the idiot was trying to reason with me. He's like, look, we only want to ban a couple of guns. We don't want to ban the rest. Look, we only want to ban 200 guns. That's all we're asking for is 200 guns. You can't be reasonable about that. Well, here's the issue. 2 things. Number 1, it's 200 guns now. How many guns is it tomorrow? How many guns is it next week? Okay, you say you're only going to ban 200 guns. Okay, fine. You're only going to ban 200 guns this time. What are you going to ban next time? But also, it's not 200 guns. Okay? The AR platform. Now, Did New Zealand ban the AR-22? I don't know. But they didn't ban the Ruger 10-22 yet, but whatever. If you ban the AR platform, you have AR-22s, AR 9mm, AR-40s, AR-45s, AR-556s, AR-308s, AR-300 blackouts, AR-50 calibers, okay, AR-224 Valkyries, AR-762x39, okay. The AR platform is available in at least a dozen calibers. So when you ban one gun, it's the entire category of guns, okay? You're going to ban the AK, okay, you're going to ban the AK. Well, you're also going to ban the 223 or 308 AKs that only hold 5 rounds and are made for hunting. Okay? In America years ago, they banned the Uzi. Well, that's a good idea, right? Well, no. Because there were pistols, regular pistols, that said for some reason Uzi on them. And were banned. Because Uzi was the guy's name. There was a time when Colt could not sell the AR-15 because it was stamped AR-15, whatever the fuck. So they called it Colt Sporter. Same fucking, they literally took the fucking blueprint and they printed and they made the gun and they just said Sporter. They changed the stamp and it was legal again by magic. Okay. The other thing is, what are gun control advocates willing to give up to give me an illusion of security? Okay. Gun control advocates always talk about what I need to give up, but they never talk about what they need to give up. Why don't they give up their sunroof on their car? Okay, if a gun control advocate is asking me to take a pistol grip off my rifle because they want to feel safe, can I ask them to take the sunroof off their car so I feel safe? What if I say you have to have a fixed car seat? Okay, you can't have an adjustable car seat. And if you're caught with an adjustable car seat, it's a felony and you can never own a car ever again. Forever. Why? Well, because I think adjustable car seats make it easier for you to speed when you're drunk driving. Okay? That's the issue. I think I should have the right to take the rights away from them. Okay? You know, you could actually stop drunk driving tomorrow in this country if you install breathalyzers on every single car that requires them to breathe in before they turn the engine on. You would stop drunk driving. If you force the engines to go no faster than 40 miles an hour, you would stop speeding. You would. But is that the world you want to live in? And the thing with the cult woods master, or woodsman they call it down there, you're willing to take away some guy's rifle that he inherited from his father, probably, because the rifle hasn't been made in 39 years. Therefore, it's probably a family heirloom. So you're gonna take some guy's rifle that was given to him by his late father, and you're gonna smash it into a fucking junk pile because you want the illusion of safety. And when I said about criminals adapting before, and I sort of tangents out, in Europe, most countries anyway, you know, Czech is different, Swiss is different, but in most countries in Europe, you need to suck a dick in order to get a gun. But what happens in Europe is Al Qaeda and ISIS are doing car attacks where they run you over and they just jump the sidewalk, go. I made a million videos about a million different incidents about this. Run people over, okay, jump the sidewalk, plow into everybody, crash, and then when the car eventually crashes, because it will crash eventually, you're gonna either get stuck under too many bodies or you're gonna have a fucking pole come out of nowhere. But if you want to go kamikaze and drive into people, you will eventually stop for one reason or another. And they get out of the car with a butcher knife and they launch butcher knife attacks. You got guys laying around injured, you start stabbing people. Why? Because the gun's not available. They find a way. The guy at the Dark Knight Rises shooting, his apartment was booby-trapped with so many bombs that the explosives team leader, the team leader of the explosives team, he was an army veteran who did explosives in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he went on record and said, this is the worst I've ever seen. So if guns were illegal, the Dark Knight Rises guy would have gone out with a bomb in his backpack, put the bomb under his seat, excused himself for the bathroom, and then boom. Okay? The guy in Texas. There was a school shooting in Texas right after Parkland, but no one cares because the shooter had a pump-action shotgun and a revolver. He didn't have a semi-automatic rifle. And he was shooting guys through doors, shooting guys hiding, okay? They don't give a fuck. Okay, the Ariana Grande concert in England. Okay? That motherfucker there had a suicide bomb with shrapnel in it. So you're taking away rights from people. You're actually confiscating people's property. And you're calling a buyback because you're giving them their tax dollars back for running them to you. Okay. But you're willing to take property away from people. You're willing to restrict firearms in general. And when they say that the 22 caliber rifles are okay, they're okay for now. Yeah, they're okay for the semi-automatic shotgun. They say it's good for, they use it for pest control. Yeah. Well, where I live in Westchester County, we have pests. We have wolves and coyotes in Westchester. We do. In fact, one of my cops killed one not too long ago. And it tested positive for rabies. A fucking coyote, a coyote in my hometown, Yonkers, launched a fucking attack on people. And they were beaten with a shovel, and the cop came and the cop shot the fucking thing. And I drove past the area on my way home. I said, what the frick is that? And I finally on the news. So people have 20-gauge shotguns for pest control. People have 22 rifles for pest control. Okay, fine. But, well, my Ruger Mini 14 could be pest control for a coyote. I kill a coyote with that. My 45 pistol could be used for coyote. I can kill a coyote with that. Some guys have 20-gauge shotguns they use for coyotes. Okay? Or wolves, or feral dogs, or foxes, whatever animal is attacking your livestock or your crops or just your area. Because don't forget, animals don't know what a golf course is. Animals see the fucking grass. They run around into it. Okay, your yard, they don't know what the fuck your yard is. They see grass and trees. Okay? True. It's true. And you're doing what the terrorists wanted. Because the terrorists wanted people to be afraid. The terrorists wanted governments to crack down on people's rights. Even though he's in prison, he won. and you're gonna find a way. The criminal's gonna find a way to devolve or alter or some shit, and you may very well see another terrorist attack in New Zealand. It could be a Muslim terrorist, it could be a Jewish terrorist, it could be a fucking Hindu terrorist. Okay, it could be an Amish terrorist, but you'll see a terrorist very soon in New Zealand, and he'll just use another means. He'll stab people, he'll set off a bomb, okay, because they're fucking evil. It's the truth. And I feel sorry for them, I really do, because they have no rights and their property is being stolen. And that's why you need to be aware of your rights. And that's why you need to vote against politicians that support this kind of behavior. Okay? I had a friend of mine killed he was a year older than me. He was killed on his 27th birthday by a drunk driver. I found out about it 4 years later because news travels slow for his class, I guess. Okay, he was killed by a drunk driver on his 27th birthday. He had a wife and 2 little kids, and he survived combat in Iraq. Now, do I want to take cars away from soil people? No, I do not. I don't at all. I had a friend of mine killed himself from speeding like a fucking maniac. Do I want to take cars away from normal people? No, I do not. He was going 100 miles an hour, got off a parkway into the parking lot of a beach area. And he was going 100 miles an hour in a parking lot, crashed into a bus shelter, car exploded, he was killed, the 2 girls in the car nearly died. They survived it barely. Horrible, horrible accident. I'm still bothered by it today, almost 19 years later. But I would never, ever, ever say that a safe driver should have his license taken away, nor should I say that a safe driver should have his engine fucked with to make sure he can't go faster than 40 miles an hour. Terrorism is a bacteria. It's a disease. It's a virus, and it will change course. It will morph. Okay, you ever see MRSA? MRSA is a staph infection, and MRSA is a staph infection that primarily affects professional athletes and guys in prison. Well, MRSA is a virus that is immune to most medications. Terrorism is MRSA. It will alter course and find a way. Alright, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go to bed. Bye, guys.